Hi guys, Oni here and welcome to today's video. If you watch my channel, then you probably know that last year I was running an XX1 Eagle mechanical drivetrain on my mountain bike, and this year at the beginning of the season I have changed out of curiosity to the XX1 Eagle AXS electronic drivetrain. I already have electronic drivetrains from Sram in different iterations on my other bikes, so I thought it was a good addition and it can solve a couple of problems that I had with my mechanical setup. So after a couple of marathon races and the training before that, I now have a good amount of experience with this drivetrain, so let's go through how it works, what's good and what is not. So the obvious upside of the drivetrain is the complete lack of any sort of cables, which makes for very easy maintenance, installation and setup. Basically you just plug the rear mac on, bolt it on, you put your shifter on the bar depending on which way you want, and you install, shorten a chain, set up the limits and the micro shift, and you're done. If you're an experienced mechanic, it shouldn't take longer than 15 minutes to take it on and off. You also save the weight and the rattling of the cables inside your frame, which can be an issue on some bikes. Generally, weight-wise, it's more or less the same between the mechanical and electronic drivetrains, but yeah, much cleaner, neater setup because you literally have nothing on your bars except the two brake hoses. This bike has brain suspension front and rear, so no nasty lockout levers either to mess it up, so I'm very happy with that. If we start from the shifter, it really has been performing as it should. It has quite of a different shape than most trigger shifters, which takes a bit of getting used to. Certainly at first it wasn't all that natural for me which way which button shifts were. You can of course change it, but anyway, this took a little bit of time to get used to for me. Now it's pretty much second nature, and I don't think I would like to go back to the trigger shifter, because with that, even it's a super precise XX1 mechanical shifter, you still get that possibility of missing a shift if you don't push it hard enough, or you can end up somewhere in between the gears, or you try to shift under too much power. It can end up pretty badly. Some people have complained about the placement of the shifter. I have it on the matchmaker, it suits me like this, but you can also get a standalone clamp which can solve your issues because they have more adjustment. I set up like this after a bit of fiddling, and suits me just fine, so no issues with that. Battery life here should be extremely long. There's a 2032 battery like in road E-tap shifters, so no extra spares needed to carry, and it has the LED blinking indicator which is always present, so it will warn you when it's about to die. Then basically the other component, and a single other component in this very simple drivetrain, is the rear mac. Now it's a bit more sturdy and robust than the mechanical version, heavier too, and as you can see it has already taken a couple of knocks, but it has a disengaging clutch, and to protect itself it also has this plastic shield which covers the knuckle, takes off the impacts. As you can see, one more here, but it works flawlessly and didn't skip a beat. The shifting quality that you can define this by is as any other electronic shifting, in fact, very precise and always exactly the same. Because there's no mechanical connection, it doesn't matter how much or how little you push the button. It's just a switch. You trigger that and the motor moves. Simple as that. You have no real possibility overshift, undershift, go anywhere in between. You got one click, you got one shift. If you have multi-shift option enabled, you can shift through the block while holding the button down. So yeah, especially on those very tiring marathon races, this is a very nice feature. It's not any faster, I think, than mechanical shifting. Certainly not when you're trying to move over big chunks of over the cassette. What I found in race situations can be useful when you're going up a climb in the very low gears, and then you've got the crest, and suddenly you start to go really fast downhill. You don't just have to, click it up and wait for a chain to drop. You're just holding the button down, it shifts into itself nicely into the harder gears, and you're good to go. So on that front, it feels a little bit different, but I really like the feel. Also, it basically takes, no matter how much load there is on the drivetrain, again, because it's just an electronic switch, there's no force at the shift button involved, so that saves a tiny bit of energy. It's more of a mental thing, I guess, but yeah, it's beneficial, I think, in these situations. The other big benefit that I was assuming there would be, and certainly there is that this unit, because it's electronic, it's completely impervious to mud, dust, and any kind of contamination crossing through creeks on the trail, going through muddy patches, etc. You have no cable to contaminate, no this exposed roller on the back of the mechanical shifting, a very strong motor in there that's just whizzing around. So really, it's impervious to all of that, and that was the reason, or the main reason why I switched to this unit. The rest of the drivetrain is identical with the mechanical version, so works exactly as you'd expect. Nice and light Eagle, all steel cassette, should be super durable. The chains are super durable too, if you look at the testing from Zero Friction Cycling, although not the fastest. As you can see on this mech, I already have upgraded the jockey wheels to Kogel units. This also helps cut a bit of friction and adds a bit of longevity to the drivetrain, quite important when you're logging out big miles at these marathon races. So overall, it's a very impressive system indeed. No missed shifts whatsoever, not a single missed one. So really I can't fault it. For marathon racing, I think it's the perfect thing, because yeah, just this resistance to the elements. One thing that doesn't really work that well in Sram's ecosystem is the Eagle AXS app, where you have the option to adjust many things, update the firmware, etc. I don't know, so far it's quite buggy and not that reliable. It disconnects, it doesn't update the firmware, etc. At least I had that experience with my phone, so that will be fixed in the future for sure. But the rest, and the important bit, is the shifting, and that's pretty much spot on and perfect. Okay, so this has been a short review of the Eagle AXS drivetrain on my SRX Epic. I hope you have found this information useful, and if you want to know more about the equipment that I use for my racing and training, then don't forget to tune into the channel and subscribe. It's all for the day. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.